Hello, hello. It has been a minute. I didn't mean to do that. I didn't mean to disappear, but things, you know, have been thinging. And I just didn't have the bandwidth to talk on here. I wasn't even sure I was going to talk on here today because I didn't know what I wanted to talk about. And I didn't know if I was too PMSy and moody to be talking. But I was just like, what the hell? Because I know that it's therapeutic and I haven't talked in a while. So here I am. I'm happy to be here as always. I had been literally sitting here for like 10 minutes waiting for a dog to stop barking. Like, why was he barking so much? I'm not even sure what I talked about. I know that I had a guest on, Alex. That was a lot of fun. Then I went on hiatus. I think that I did, I had talked about not drinking. Well, that's still going. So I am about a month and 13 days in. I just looked at, I like have a little counter. A month and 13 days. And wow. So I've done this before, and I remember it not being easy emotional wise. It's always easy to not drink, especially if you get through like the first 2 weeks. Kind of like if you could break the pattern, well, for me at least, because, I drink for my nervous system. So if I'm able to break the pattern, then not having alcohol is really easy. Now, what's not easy is all of the shit that starts to bubble up, okay? And I have trauma, different types, and despite me going to talk therapy for years and years, and despite me, changing my diet, doing all the things, the trauma is still there. And it was making me frustrated, which, that's not helpful. But anyways, that's kind of what was happening. And then I hit like a brick wall. It was the day after Thanksgiving. And I put on like a Christmas show and I didn't fucking move like from the chair. Yes, I was available for my daughter if she needed me. But I was in the chair watching shows, and she spent a lot of time with her dad. Her dad made lots of comments like, why are you sitting there? You haven't done anything, blah, blah, blah. Because I have spent years overdoing it. I just ran myself ragged every single day. The house had to be clean. Everything had to be in its place, take care of Quinn, make sure everybody's needs are met. And then like I have this very anticipatory aspect of the way that I regulate around this house. Okay, well that stopped. I'm fucking done with that. There's a lot of reasons why I turned out that way. But it's almost like, okay, if I can anticipate anybody's needs, then I can take care of it, and then that will keep me safe. Like I don't have to hear anything. It was like almost like I would over control all of this just so I could keep the peace in any way possible. Not like as in fighting, just no disagreements, no talking, nothing. Everything could just go the way it needs to go, as long as like I did everything and everybody was taken care of. Okay, burnout much? You can't do that. It's not sustainable. And so I hit this wall, right? And I'm just sitting in this chair. The house is a disaster. And I'm just watching my show. I'd get up to go to the bathroom, get some herbal tea. But other than that, I really didn't have the energy to do anything. Nor did I have the energy to like fucking care. And the house was a mess, and I just looked around. I can remember one day in particular, and I wanted to rage because in a lot of households, not all of them, but in mine at least, and a lot of people that I know, everything pretty much falls on the mother, whether she works, whether she doesn't. So if dishes are to be done, the mom does them, the laundry, I do all of that. And I don't mind it. It's just the me being expected to do it and then nobody like ever helping out because, they're always like, oh, Brittany will do it, or like, just the comments that I get if things aren't done. And I'm just like, okay, this was never really supposed to be a one person job. We all live here and, let's all like team effort, let's have a team effort. Okay. So no, that hasn't happened. So really what it's been is like I'm sober right now. Everything's very, very clear. And the dynamics of this household are totally fucked, okay? Because I'm just like, I can't believe I did all of this shit for so long. When you're drinking, you care a little less about certain things. Or, no, actually you don't care less. You just don't really feel it because you're numbing everything. Those were the days. And without getting into specifics, there are just things that happen in my house. And somehow I end up falling back in this pattern of me regulating the entire house and me, kind of waiting around, making sure, like, it's like I'm trying to implement a schedule, like a routine, because I have a toddler, she's 3, and she thrives on routine, okay? And so I'm trying to implement these routines, but then I every day it was like a fucking battle. And it was with her dad, and I didn't understand what's happening. And I'm just like, okay, why is my routine getting fucked up every single day? Well, it's because as good of a dad as he is, he's pretty inconsistent. And somehow the routines get centered around him. And then I'm left waiting and doing all the things, It's something as simple as, I cook dinner. We eat at 5:30 because that's when, Quinn is usually hungry. It's just a good time. So we eat around 5:30. Well, I cooked. It was ready. I made the plates. And then he was like, oh, well, I'll eat in just a second. Like I'm on a phone call. And he took his time. Normally, like I would have sat and we would have waited. But I was like, no. Like I'm so done like making all of this effort for very little in return. Like, no more. So, it was just like a couple things, or like one time we went, like he went to go pick up food, right? And it was just down the street. It was soup. So I know it didn't take long. And then like, I was like, she doesn't need to eat at 6. We eat at 5:30. And like, I've been just trying to get a routine going, just because it's easier for me as the sole, parent. Sorry, but like I do most of the parenting. It's just, that's the way it is. So I'm trying to keep my sanity, so we have a routine. And so here he is, he goes to get soup and it's hitting like 5:50 and I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to feed her something here because I said 5:30. It is now 5:50 and I'm tired of like waiting. So he's like, please don't. I'm leaving right now. And I'm just like, no. So I fed her something at the house and we went on with our day. And he didn't really say much, but it's been, slowly like, I don't know if I'm becoming detached or frustrated or resentful, or maybe I'm just, done waiting around. But either way, it's just like there's this push and pull kind of happening on his end because I'm telling you, I don't fucking care right now. Like I'm doing what I need to do to take care of myself and my daughter because I'm not waiting around anymore. Like so tired of just so tired of the imbalance that is happening. And I hear it all the time. I hear it not just in my family, but like women all over talking about, yeah, like all my husband does is work. Like, he makes some money and I am grateful for it, but I'm supposed to be so grateful for it that I'm like dying at the end of the day. I never anticipated on, having little to no help, with my kid. Like, I never imagined I would be the only one waking up with her when she woke up in the morning, or the only one doing bath time, or the only one cleaning and cooking. And, like, I never imagined that it would be like that. And you never know until, you're in it. And it's just kind of like, okay, so what's your role? I like, fun dad. Like, do you just get to be a fun dad? I don't know. Like, it's starting to like really piss me off because, if it's almost like, depending on the mood is when these men desire to be dads. Like, like, oh, if I'm in a good mood today, then I'm going to be present with my daughter. If I'm in a bad mood, or if I'm tired, or if I'm sick, I'm going to rest and do my own thing and do all the stuff. And I'm just wondering, like, is that common, or is that just something that's happening to me? Because I actually know like a couple of people who have complained about the same things. And I'm just like, what the fuck? Like, what the fuck happened? And I am not here to bash men. I think plenty of people out there are doing that. I really do. And I'm just not down for the man hating. I fucking love men. I love masculine men. I love that my man can do things around the house and he can fix things and he's there for us. He can protect us. I fucking love all of that. But the inconsistency and the day-to-day labors that he doesn't have to be a part of if he doesn't want to, that's the part that I'm not loving. And I'm wondering, what in the world happened in this society that women think we should be grateful for the fucking breadcrumbs that we are given? Fuck no. It was just kind of like, I saw this, like, it was like a funny video online, and it was this dude. Granted, if I saw a dude ever do this to me, I would just throw up. But he was like, he had the most beautiful hair, and he was just like fixing it, and it was long, curly, beautiful, and I don't even know, like, it was just very pretty hair for a dude. And he's just like touching it, and he's having the most amazing hair day. And then the girl next to him is having like the hair day we all have, ladies, like, you pull down the bun and the bun stays up, no hair tie needed. Okay. And I'm thinking to myself, well, this guy has fucking plenty of time to go get his hair done and, treated and whatever the fuck. I can't believe I'm even having this conversation. But it was just like the whole point of the entire thing is like, yeah, guys have plenty of time to go to the gym and get their hair done and have the perfect skin. Like, yeah, like, women, no, we don't have that luxury. Not even, like, I know everybody's like, oh, you're a stay-at-home mom, it's easy for you. It's so fucking hard. Like, it is so fucking hard. And I only have the one kid, okay? I can't imagine these moms with 5 kids killing it with their homeschooling and their home-cooked meals and all. How? I need someone to contact me and tell me how, because you, my friend, are a superhero in my eyes. Like, how? I don't even know how. I read something that, it really resonated, like, with me about why I am, the way I am. And it said that, like, women are basically raised, like society tells women, you need to go into, like, when you walk into a room, you read the room, right? And then act accordingly, basically. And that made so much sense, especially like growing up, like, in the church and shit like that. Ugh, don't get me started on the Catholic Church. And, and then depending on, like, what was going on in the home or at school, I always tried to do the best I could do. I was the youngest, kind of an afterthought. And I think that's why I think that's, like, I don't like the word trigger, but I think that's why, like, when somebody doesn't listen to me or doesn't consider my opinion or something, I get so pissed off. 'Cause I don't know, it's just ingrained in me that I don't matter. And I hate when somebody like, you know, kind of proves that that's true, even though it's not. But I just get like I get so mad. And then this girl posted something. She's like, if you think you're a bad mom, don't worry, because a guy would get praised for doing what you're doing. And it is so fucking true, because we could do everything and it doesn't really matter. It's almost like it's expected. We're never really celebrated, right? Unless we could do it all. And I fucking can't. I don't know about you, but I can't do it all. I'm not going to try. No. But yeah, it was just kind of like, you know, we're expected to be happy. You know what? I don't have to go in. We've all thought it. We've all heard it. We hear it. People say it all the time. We are treated much differently in this world than men are. And I'm not saying this to hate on men. I can't express that enough. But the emotional labor that has been assigned to women by default, it's just outrageously, you know, mind blowing. Because, you know, who notices like the birthdays? You know? Who remembers those? Who puts out the Christmas cards if you do that sort of thing? I barely do. You know? Who remembers the doctor appointments? Who remembers the medicines? Who cooks healthy meals? I mean, my God, I mean, the amount of crap the dad will feed my daughter on a day that I have something to do is unheard of. And it's so frustrating. So it's almost like more work for me if she used to spend the day with her father, because I would have to meal prep in order so I wouldn't have to worry about what she's eating that day, because I don't want her eating fast food, you know, because those things matter to us moms. They matter, especially in this fucked up poisonous world. Yeah, they fucking matter to me. And guys, you don't think about that stuff, and it's infuriating. You don't have to care, because we care enough. But that's the issue. That's the problem. That's where the exhaustion comes from, you know? And it's infuriating. You know what? I'm like constantly trying to like gauge the energy levels in this house, and I'm trying to keep everything calm. But because like if I'm not calm, if something's off with me, then the entire house, you know, flips on its side, and it's just like, fuck, I can't even have a bad day, because then everybody has a bad day. And that's so, I don't think that's fair. I don't think so. Like, here I am trying to hold it together, and then the moment I get a moment of peace, I'm crying in my closet or in the bath or wherever. It's just, you know, and then I have my husband coming home from work who gets to turn on the news and take a little nap. Like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, no. I don't get to close my eyes, because if I do, my daughter could climb in the oven and turn it on. I don't know. That's a weird, you know, thing to say, but it is. Like, I can't take my eyes off of her because she could get hurt severely, you know? So no, I'm not coming home. I don't get to sit on the couch and close my eyes. It's exhausting. And it's just like, I developed this habit of over functioning so that everything could be in order at the end of the day, so I can maybe, you know, get some sleep. So then you add in my hypervigilance to, you know, my daughter's health, and my God, she had like a little weird stomach thing that happened to her. Like, I don't know if it was gas or something, but it was really weird, and it scared me really bad because of the medical trauma that I have. And just anytime she has anything wrong with her, like a cold, anything, it just seems like 1,000 times worse than what it is. And that's what I've been trying to heal. But anyway, that stomach thing happened, and my trauma nervous system went through the fucking roof. And for a week, 6-7 days nonstop, I was staring at my daughter, waiting for something terrible to happen, watching her color, watching her breathing, watching everything. Like, I was just staring at her, and like there was some sort of terror that was inside my body, and it was just there and I could not co-regulate because there's no one around. There's no one around for me to co-regulate. And you cannot deal with that type of trauma. You can't deal with that symptom in your nervous system being like that. You can't deal with that alone. And I was trying to for every fucking day. And every day I would wake up with this very high anxiety. I could barely like breathe. And I just knew, I knew in my bones that something terrible was going to happen. And I could not, like the anxiety was so horrible. And then like I was acting strange. So then my daughter, you know, they sensed that. They're like, something's wrong here. So then they started acting different. And because she wasn't being herself, that's what told my brain, look, she's not being herself. There's something wrong with her. But it was a bunch of different things. Yeah, maybe she did have like a little tummy thing, but it was mostly probably my dysregulated nervous system. So while all of that's happening, there's the pressure of trying to regulate myself, even though that's impossible to do when there's no one fucking around. And so I literally, at my age, wait, how old am I? I think I'm 38. I had to call my mom here. And I had to ask her, Mom, please come sit with me. I need you. And I just needed her to sit. I needed to know that there was a calm person able to just sit with me, because I live in a house where nobody fucking cares. Nobody asks. The only thing that they ask is, what's wrong? Are you tired again? You know, and it's just kind of like, what the fuck? But this is what happens. You know, I'm not blaming, yeah, I understand. Like the dynamics of my house sucks. I do, but it's not all bad. It's just kind of like a bad chapter, right? But you know, when you raise generations upon generations of men not allowed to talk about their feelings, not allowed to have feelings, they can't cry, they can't be mad, whatever. However you boys are raised, you know, well, no wonder they can't attune emotionally to anyone or anything. Like, they never learned. So no, it's not, you know, it's just, this is how everything has happened. And I know that it's not just me. I know. And that's why I'm okay talking about it. Because if it was just me, then maybe I would have to like fucking reevaluate my entire life, which I have been in other ways, but I'm not saying like I hate my daughter's dad. No, I don't. I love him very much. But it's just like the inconsistencies of the parenthood is so, it's just grating on my nerves now. I'm just like, no, like if I'm tired, it doesn't matter if I'm tired or if I'm sick or if I'm having a panic attack. I have to be a mom that day. And there's no safety net. And I said that once, and I remember I getting so much shit for it. Like, you don't have a safety net? Blah, blah, blah. Guy at work. I make the money. We have a house because of me. Blah, blah, blah. You know, that's the only thing. That's the only argument. And it's just kind of like, I'm not allowed to say anything because I stay at home with our daughter, something we agreed on, you know? It's like, I'm not going to get, you know, guilt tripped because I'm not working right now. Like, working that kind of job. Because, gotta say, having a toddler is the hardest job I've ever fucking had. I don't know. It's just, I think I knew I was too PMS-y for this topic. I was going to talk about sobriety. I guess I could do that too. It's been awful. It's been fucking awful. Okay, like I remember like I got 2 or 3 weeks in, whenever, and I felt amazing, guys. I felt so fucking good. I was like, oh, this is awesome. But then it wasn't. I guess I hit that wall. And then everything kind of unraveled from there. And then a horrible, like, trauma stuff started coming up. Like, you know, intrusive thoughts, old memories, just emotional things coming up. I remember I spent days crying, just kind of clearing all that out, which afterwards I felt pretty good. But I ended up getting like a horrible cold that wouldn't go away. to which I did have to mother, I had to keep being mom. I didn't have my safety net, like I said. But it's just been a weird thing to notice. I guess I was mad because I've done this sober thing before, and it just didn't seem this hard. It didn't seem like, but since then, Quinn's had procedures and I had a miscarriage and a bunch of other shit, so I mean, like everyone says, you're in a different state. You're not the same person you were 2 years ago or last year or whatever. And it's just kind of like, it's different and it sucks. And it's never like, oh, I need to go drink and numb all this out. Although I do totally understand why I drank so much wine. It's like not a secret anymore. It's like not a mystery. I mean, like not a mystery at all. And then like, so then I have this nervous system, right, that I'm trying to work with, and I'm trying to like figure out what I need. I'm nourishing just kind of, the best I can. I'm not the best at eating, when I should, or eating what I should. Excuse me. But I just trying to stay hydrated and nourish myself, right? Which has been so hard. It's so hard to do that. And I don't know why. I have no idea why. But I have this nervous system. And if I don't take care of myself, it's going to go through the roof and I'm going to be fried and I'm going to be so angry or scared or anxious or panicked. And so I'm trying to find all of these things, like what I should do. So one of the things, and I should mention, no, I am not a doctor. This is not medical advice. This is just my experience. I've implemented, water, filtered water, a half a lemon, salt. I just use a Redmond salt, and potassium chloride. And I drink this concoction like twice a day. My gosh, it has been life-changing. Like when my battery is low, I drink a glass of this and it makes me feel instantly better. Like give it a few minutes and I felt instantly better. Like able to get out of my chair, moving around, a little happier, a little less on edge. I'm telling you, it was a very, very incredible addition. Just making sure I eat every 2 to 3 hours has helped. Whatever it is. I just kind of pick anything right now. I know I need healthier kind of snacks, but whatever is here, I'll eat it. I drink a lot of herbal tea all day long herbal tea. Magnesium too. I don't take a lot of supplements right now, because I know my liver is like working overtime and I don't want to make it work any harder than what it needs to. So I'm just trying to keep it as simple as possible. But the number one thing is that I finally started to like do less. And I'm talking like emotional stuff, emotional things that like my nervous system is like, no, I can't care. Like something that bothers me about my husband, aside from all the things that I've talked about today, he eats like crap. Like, and he'll say it's healthy, like Campbell's chunky soup from the can. Oh. And he just will eat that. And he's like, no, it's healthy. And I'm just like, okay. Normally I would fight him on it. I would go print out an article and didn't they just have like some kind of meeting, press conference thing about how they do 3D meats in those cans of soup? Ugh, so fucking disgusting. Anyway, I would normally try to convince him that this is terrible for you, like you don't need to eat this crap. But because I don't have the bandwidth to deal with much of anything, I didn't care. He wants the soup, he's going to eat the soup, and I'm not going to care to try to convince him that soup is horrible for you. Okay? Because what do I care? He's a 52-year-old man. Like, If you want to eat that soup, then eat the fucking soup. So it's just like, I don't care. Or like if he's tired and he's on the couch or something, or if he, no, this is a big one. He works from home a lot. Okay. But when he does that, he will sometimes be like, you have to keep quiet. And like before I would, but recently I'm like, no, you have an office you can go to, and I'm not going to stress myself out trying to keep Quinn quiet because you wanted to work from home. Like, no. So you're going to have to figure it out, because it's like, if he has one big meeting, okay, fine. I understand it. Talk to me about it, before, and then I will, plan accordingly. Like, I don't mind. I'm not unreasonable. But if you're just going to decide to work from home last minute, and then you're like, but I have lots of big meetings, so Quinn needs to be quiet. I'm like, no, we're not going to live like that, because this is a house and you have an office that you can go to. And, just because you didn't want to drive there doesn't mean I have to change my whole day because you need her to be quiet. No, if you have a big meeting, you can go to the office for that. Now, if it's like, but like I said, if you plan it out and talk to me, yeah, okay, no problem. I know I sound unreasonable and unhappy, but I'm really not. It's just a very hard chapter. Just want to put that out there. Another thing that I used to do was, if he was resting or something, like on the couch, and or maybe she just wanted him to do a lot, like go outside or play, and I knew he was tired. Well, I used to always like step in. Even if I was exhausted, I would step in and be like, let daddy rest. We'll go do it. Okay, well, I stopped doing that too, because guess what? Mom's motherfucking tired too. So I'll let him, like, and I can see it, and he's so frustrated, and he just like wants to sleep and do any, like, just rest for just a minute. And I watch him be frustrated now. His frustration used to like make me uncomfortable, but like, I don't care anymore. I don't care. The thing is that this shift has, kind of rocked the boat a bit. But I'm not doing it on purpose. I'm doing it because the way I was living before was unsustainable. Like, in order to live the life I was living before, I had to drink heavily, okay, to even deal. And now that I'm not drinking, I have to change the way I function day to day in order to be able to, heal and live at the same time. Because I can't be in survival mode forever. I can't. Because you know what happened. You have chronic stress. You're on constant fight or flight. You're barely taking care of yourself. You're not resting. Your body can't do what it was designed to do when all of that shit's happening. And guess what? You're the perfect storm for like something like cancer to, start. And I don't want to have cancer. Okay. I want to live a long, healthy, happy life with my daughter and my family. And I don't need to be sick right now, So I'm trying to take care of myself. But before I couldn't. I was very like barely surviving. And, and I was trying to basically support everyone's nervous system because it would, like, I don't know, like I would try to take care of your nervous system so that you would feel better, so that like I could feel better, kind of thing. I don't know. It's hard to explain. But it's kind of like I came to a point within the last few weeks where I'm like, I'm not your nervous system. Like, I don't need to regulate your emotions. Like, yes, if you need to co-regulate at any point because there's hypervigilance or panic, okay. But your normal day-to-day shit, like, no, I'm not going to cater to that anymore. If you're uncomfortable, be uncomfortable. If you're tired, agitated, whatever, then you're going to be all those things. Because guess what? I have to be all those things. And I'm working very, very hard to learn how to, kind of balance, get a new baseline. And it's been hell. But guess what? I'm fucking doing it and I'm proud of myself. And that's why I have very little patience for the moping and the whining and the attitude and the frustration. Like, I don't care. I don't care. You're feeling all those things because I'm no longer anticipating your comfort, because that's not my job. It's not my job to anticipate your comfort for every day, all day. I have a toddler to take care of, okay? And you're not going to disrupt the whole house with your bad mood, right? And I think that's what I was trying to prevent. Like, I don't want him to be in a bad mood and ruin the house. Well, he can be in a bad mood. I'll just, go do my own thing. And me and Quinn will still have fun. And you can go and be in your bad mood or whatever. That's just an example of like what it was like for me. It's just kind of like, oh, if everyone's happy, then everything's okay. But, I never put myself into the equation. So no, it was very much not okay. There was just a very pre-regulatory aspect of my life. And it's almost like I wouldn't say things because it would kind of like make people upset, or I, would wait for like the perfect time to talk about something, or, I would not say anything at all so that the environment would stay the same. I would, soften my own needs so that other people were more comfortable, and I would take responsibility for other people's moods. And I was just like, why the fuck am I doing this? Like, not only is no one doing this for me, because people barely acknowledge that I'm like in this house, but like, why am I doing this? Why? And it was because like I just needed to feel a sense of safety. And, and it caused me to become a very, very small version of myself. And I do this often. I often make myself very, very small to make everybody else comfortable. And I'm not saying like I'm this huge bright light that is so uncomfortable, but it's just kind of like I don't say things and I don't do a lot of things because, I just want to keep everything neutral. But because like, maybe I didn't want to hear the comments because I just felt insecure, or, like those days I was sitting in the chair and, to hear my husband say, wow, I'm tired of doing dishes. Oh, you are? Try doing them for 8 years. And then like now that I have a kid and his older son living here, I do it like 5 times a day. I literally had to sit my husband down and be like, hey, if you and your son are going to eat in between the 3 times I do dishes, I'm going to have to ask y'all to clean your own dishes. Like, then that's a whole other thing. Them two are a whole other thing. They have this whole weird dynamic that I can't even begin to describe. And, that's been another thing that I've changed drastically because I see some things that happen, but I can't really comment. I can't really say, yes, I can, but it's just almost like talking to a brick wall. So what I've started to tell myself is like, oh, hey, that's not my lane, because it's not. Yes, it bothers me what I see. I don't like laziness. I don't like manipulation. I don't like liars. And it's just I don't know, it's the level of delusion, that I see day to day. It's just infuriating and annoying, and it's just mind blowing too. But I had to go talk to someone because I was like, maybe I'm the crazy one. Nobody's crazy. It's just that there is a dynamic happening that I'm not a part of. It was built before I was even a part of their lives. And it's just, I have to stay out. It's not my lane. So if a grown man is sleeping till 3 p.m, I can't say anything because, it's not my business, I guess. I don't know. But that's the thing is I've taken a lot off my plate emotionally. So I can take care of me and Quinn in a way that I'm not, it's me and Quinn. Since I'm doing most of the parenting, like the day-to-day parenting stuff, what I'm doing is I'm building a routine that isn't centered around anybody else. Because if you're going to drop in and out of the routine, then you're going to be background noise. That's just the way it has to be in order for our routine to work. Because you can be a part of our lives, but you're not going to be the center of it. Not like that. Quinn is the center of mine, and everything else will fall and be background noise because she is the most important person. And then it's also very important that I take care of myself so that I can be the best mom to her, so that her and I can continue to learn and grow in a healthy way. The reasons why we pre-regulate, basically, that's what I'm calling it. I don't even really know the word, but it's different for everybody, so it's kind of like you're gauging what somebody's reaction will be so that you can feel safe, so that I can feel safe. I'm not even entirely sure all the reasons why I grew up doing this, I used to have kind of not bad abandonment issues, but just a fear, of this relationship ending or me not being okay. But the more I've learned and grown and gone through things, the less I, not that I don't care. I do. I want my family to be together. I always will. But it's kind of it's almost like my discomfort is not as much anymore. So instead of making myself small, I'm going to tell you what's going to, what bothers me. Or no, I'm not going to entertain you by pretending to be interested in something that I really don't fucking care about. I'm tired of doing that, or I'm not going to fake it anymore just so you feel good, if that makes sense, because I don't always feel good. And that sounds cold, but it's kind of just taking ownership of me, myself, my emotions, and my, but also being comfortable with someone else's discomfort, because that is their issue. That is not mine. So now, am I saying go around and fucking be mean to everyone and be shitty and say shitty things? No, I'm not saying, well, you could just be a bitch and they have to deal with it. No, that's not what I'm saying. It's more like I said before, it's more okay, no, I'm not going to keep Quinn quiet all day just because you wanted to stay home and work. Normally I wouldn't say that because he would get frustrated and irritated, but now I don't care. Not that I don't care. It's just your reaction's not going to scare me. It's just not. Or the other day when he took too long to get food and I fed Quinn anyway, there was a part of me at one point before where I wouldn't have done that, and I would have waited for him to bring the soup. And then, so I wouldn't have to deal with all the comments and repercussions and whatever. But this time, I don't care. I don't care. You took too long. I specifically told you Quinn eats at 5:30. And you didn't care enough, to honor that. So we ate and we moved on with our day. I wasn't mad, resentful, angry. I mean, I was irritated, yes, but I let him know. And we just moved on with our day, and that's what it was. Were there comments? Yes, but you know what? Now I know that those comments are more to do with him, not about me. And they're not my job to fix because it wasn't my issue. I didn't stay at the restaurant too long. I didn't make the mistake. I wasn't the one that didn't honor something that my partner needed. That was all him. So that's his lane, and that's not mine. So his comments, whether it's, oh, now I have to eat by myself, or why did you do that, or whatever it is, I know that it's not about me. He wants me to fix it, tell him that it's okay, but it's fucking not. It's not okay, because I told you. So, that's what a partnership is. It's honoring the needs of the other. So No, I am not your like nervous system. I am not your emotional parent. Like, I'm not going to be sugarcoating it for the grown people in this house. I'll do that for Quinn, my daughter, who is 3, but I will not do that for anyone else because I don't fucking care. I don't care like about making you comfortable anymore because it's not my job and it's exhausting. And guess what? I have a lot of free time in my brain not doing that. So, and I have plenty of time to work on all the other fucked up shit that's in my brain, you know? But what I have found by, kind of speaking my truth and also staying in my own lane when it comes to things that don't pertain to me, like his, all of his older son, all of that stuff, that doesn't pertain to me. So I don't have to care about it. And when my brain wants to go on a rant and then it wants to go and talk to Armando about a bunch of shit that's never ever going to penetrate his brain because, it's not my place. Well, I can just tell myself, not my lane. And I can go and move and put energy into something else that matters, that I can, make a difference in. So that's kind of where I'm at. And it hasn't been easy. And my God, I've been crying a lot and I've been depressed. And it's just been really, really hard over here. But I am doing it. And it is going. And I'm just going to keep going and keep healing. And hopefully, in a few weeks, I will have turned over a new leaf. Because right now, sobriety is kicking my ass. Because my whole body is rebalancing. It's finding a new baseline. My dopamine is restabilizing. My cortisol, all of that stuff is trying to restabilize. My mineral reserves are trying to, find their balance. My hormones are going crazy. Like, my body is doing so much work. And I can't, and I don't see the results, but I know that they're happening. I know that I will be grateful for this healing that I'm doing, even if it feels like shit right now. It is not fun. It is not glamorous. You should see what I fucking look like right now. I look like I fell out of a truck. So I'm going to keep going and I will keep sharing. But I am going to be out of town next week. So I probably won't have anything unless I decide to record again and schedule it. But I don't know. But I'm praying for you all. I hope that you're all having a wonderful, wonderful holiday season. And I will be back soon. Please contact me if you need anything at all. If you resonate with anything that I said, please contact me so we could talk about it. It would be so awesome to not be alone in this. And if you can just continue to pray for me, my family, my daughter. I think she's getting a cold again. I fucking hate winter. But if you could just pray for her and her continuous healing, I would be greatly, greatly appreciative. And I will also pray for you all as well. Thank you, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.